Writing isn't about words, it's a transformation, a journey of truth, creativity, and spirit. But how do you take that idea in your mind and turn it into a published book? How do you create, design, and share your work in a way that feels authentic? That's exactly what we're here to explore. Welcome to the Quill Oracles, the podcast where self-publishing meets mysticism. I'm your host, Amanda Clark, author, creator, and what I like to call a literacy oracle. If you're ready to take your book from idea to print with a little spiritual guidance along the way, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into writing, designing, self-publishing, and intuitive creative flow without the fluff, without the overwhelm, but with all the wisdom you need to get your book out into the world. So grab your quill, trust your intuition, and let's turn your words into something powerful. Who am I and why did I create the Quill Oracles? Well, since this is our first episode, I wanted to introduce myself properly and to share the journey that led me here, because the Quill Oracles isn't just another self-publishing podcast. It's actually deeply personal to me. So a little about me and my background. I'm a Gen Xer, and like all of my genre, I've been through the analog to digital age and now AI times. And I've adapted just along the way and taken it all in with gusto. So I have a lot to share. And like most of my genre, you just pull on your boots and get on with it. No point complaining. No one is listening anyway. So I've been creative, different since I was a wee tacker, different in doing all things that, I used to do when I was little, writing poetry, short stories, drawing. Even went through the crafting era in the early 1990s. Then computers come along and I'd learned touch typing at school because that's what we did back then. So the computer keyboard was my second home. And being connected to the World Wide Web via the twang of the dial-up internet, for anyone that knows, and we're connected to the World Wide Web, and a whole new world opened up. Yahoo, Googling, Windows, the possibilities were endless, and it was about now that I took a 20-year hiatus from my own dreams to raise kids and help others achieve their dreams. Yes, your typical Gen X story. Got through the reality of what my life had amounted to, which was fuck all. So in the spirit of the Gen Xer, I pulled on my boots and I just got on with it. Looking over it, pulling all my past ideas, creative storytelling, desktop publishing, research, and recently AI experience, I went back to the roots of what did I love when I was 8 years old? And the answer was writing. I loved writing. Poetry, short stories, haiku, you name it. Look, they were just kiddie scribblings back then, but it was the one thing that brought me joy, and I remember getting lost in the freedom of writing. And to be honest, I'd never had an inspiration to write a book or publish anything. Never believed in myself enough that what I had to say was worthy of printed works. Yet here I am, 20 self-published books under my belt, selling on the global web, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, sold into bookstores through Ingram Sparks and Lulu. I've always been a creative at heart, writing, designing, illustrating. What I've learned along the way is I don't just love books, I love creating them. I've used multiple self-publishing platforms like KDP, Lulu, Ingram Sparks, and I've learned through trial and error what works and what doesn't. And I'm just a writer, I'm a designer, I'm a brand builder, an intuitive creator. I use Canva for my book covers, formatting, marketing. I do it all myself. I even built my own Wings of Wisdom website with Shopify, And I've used Shopify for many years for different businesses that I've taken on. So I know what it takes to get your written words into printed books and into the market and onto the world market as well. So why did I choose to write divination books? Well, I create oracle, tarot, rune, astrology books because they're different and they're creative and they deeply connect spiritually. As I am an intuitive empath, I feel people's energy and their truths, but I've learned that telling people their truth doesn't really go down so well. So instead, I've used my books to serve as a way to channel those messages through the divination tools that my books are, guiding people into a more positive path without confronting them directly. And for me, divination books are more than just products. They're self-help tools, spiritual guides, and messages that people need to hear. So why am I creating this podcast? Simple, really. Because over the last few years, I've joined author and publishing Facebook pages and Insta accounts. And the biggest questions I noticed coming up on these social media sites is about self-publishing. Who, how, what steps, how do I edit, what's an ISBN, how do I do this and how do I do that? And other self-publishing, it can be so overwhelming to newbies, but it doesn't have to be. I've learned through many years of trial and error what is working and what is not. And I want to share my knowledge with you all. This podcast is about blending creativity, spirituality, and business. And it is possible. And I want to show you how. And this podcast because too many amazing authors give up before they even begin. And I want to help you start, finish, and publish with confidence. So what can you expect from the Quill Oracles? So this is a podcast. What is this podcast actually all about? Here's what you can expect from upcoming episodes. Practical self-publishing tips. Everything from writing, formatting, cover design, pricing and distribution through platforms like KDP, Lulu, Instagram, and Shopify. Writing and creativity techniques, how to overcome writer's blocks and channel ideas and write with intuition. Marketing and selling without feeling salesy. Tips on branding, social media, and finding your audience in an authentic way. You also learn spiritual and mystical elements using meditation, tarot, and intuitive downloads to enhance creativity. And the pros and cons of self-publishing. I'll be aware with you about what works and what doesn't, and what to avoid. The mystical side of writing and self-publishing. Now, let's talk about something I really truly believe in deeply, and that's writing as a mystical practice. Because writing isn't just technical, it's energetic, it's transformational. Have you ever written something and thought, wow, where did that come from? Like, have you ever felt like ideas just flowed through you like a download from the universe? You didn't know where that come from. Well, that's because it isn't just logic, it's intuition. And when we tap into that, we create books that truly resonate with readers. So how do you channel creativity in writing? Meditate before. Clear your mind and let inspiration flow. If you're new to meditation, there are heaps of free guided meditations online. You don't have to go all out woo-woo. Just sitting in a comfy chair and breathing deeply will do the trick. You can use tarot or oracle cards or just grab one of my books. Sorry, shameless plug there, but pull a card for guidance before writing a chapter. See if the angels can guide you. Let go of perfectionism. Allow the words to come through you without judgment. Just let it flow. And this is why the Quill Oracles is different from other writing podcasts, because I'll help you connect to your book on a deeper level. So join me on this journey. Before we wrap up this first episode, I just want to invite you to be part of the journey. If you've ever felt the pull to write and publish a book but didn't know where to start, or if you've ever felt like writing is guided and you weren't sure how to channel it, and if you're ready to finally share your words with the world, then the Quill Oracles is here to help you. And here's how you can join me. Subscribe to the Quill Oracles so you never miss out on an episode. Leave feedback. It helps other intuitive writers find this podcast. And follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Koru Lifestylist. DM me, tell me what you want to hear about in writing and publishing. And next week, we're diving into how to overcome writer's block using spiritual practices. So you can't miss it. And remember, the answers you seek are within. Keep writing, keep channeling, and trust that your words are meant to be shared. Cheers for now.